Today, I'm going to show you two of the simplest and most effective breathing methods that will maximize your health impact and give you pain relief. So before we get into this, I just want to put out there that inspiration means to breathe in. It also means to be in spirit. So the power of how you breathe is absolutely essential and important. So if you're understanding how to breathe correctly, it'll dramatically change your life. And this is endless. There's endless studies on this. So if you don't know how you breathe, becoming conscious of how you breathe will change your life, reduce your pain. It'll literally make you look better. And that's no joke. They found that mouth breathers are uglier on average than nose breathers. So who am I and why listen to me? I don't want to get into all that. I want to give you the goods, but basically, I'm a best-selling author. I'm a creator of Relief for Life and EarthFit, two highly successful training systems. I'm an instructor for breathing and specifically Wim Hof, and I host retreats in Costa Rica. I've been featured in all those magazines, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, if you learn and use the techniques I'm about to share with you and show you, you'll have more energy, more inner peace, better cardiovascular system, more happiness, stronger immune system, better, deeper sleep, increase cellular voltage. Remember, we're electrical beings. You'll get pain relief, reduced inflammation, stimulation of the healing process, detoxification of toxins, protection from tissue damage, better stress management, higher sense of well-being, and better mind-body connection. The list goes on and on and on. If you don't learn and use the techniques that I share with you, you're going to end up with more pain, more anxiety, more stress, more fear, and more toxicity. The list is longer than that, but we'll just leave it there. So the maximum value being via breathing. We're going to show you the number one way to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. And the number one way to tap into your sympathetic nervous system for maximum benefit to your body, mind, and spirit. Important. You never do these breathing while you're driving, in water, or standing. If you have a history of seizures, don't do the Wim Hof breathing technique that I'm going to show you, which is a retention hold. And find a comfortable space and place to do this breathing always. You can drift off into sleep and deep relaxation, and so you want to be aware of those things. So your sympathetic nervous system is the emergency management system. It's very reactive, or it is the reaction. It's the survival, fight or flight. The dilated pupils, dilated blood vessels that lead to the muscles in the lungs. And you'll see over here on the right, dilated pupils inhibits salivation, relaxes bronchi, accelerates heartbeats, inhibits peristalsis and secretion, stimulates glucose production and release. So this is all survival stuff. This is stuff to get you from point A to B if you're running away from something. So you're going to limit the amount of access to, say, your digestive system, because you don't need your digestive system when you're in fight or flight. Whereas the parasympathetic nervous system is the rest and digest. This is where a lot of your relaxation and healing comes from. This is the dilated blood vessels in the digestive tract, stimulates the salivary glands, constricts the bronchioles of the lungs. This is where love, peace, and happiness come from, and this is where you recover from the sympathetic drive. So the three systems we'll impact today are your autonomic nervous system, which is in control of your body temperature, your heart rate, your blood pressure, respiration. It automatically and unconsciously is controlled, but you actually can influence it. And this was previously thought not possible. Then we have your immune system. It's part of the autonomic nervous system. That can be impacted and influenced as well. This has now been proven in research. Most people are not taught this. So this is very important stuff. Your cardiovascular system. We circulate and transport nutrients, oxygen, CO2, hormones, blood cells to and from the cells in the body. So it's extremely important that you're able to work your cardiovascular system, and you can work your cardiovascular system without doing the cardio that most people think of. You can do it just through breathing. So how it works? Well, in one of these breathing techniques, we're going to do what's called superventilation, which leads to hypocapnia, which is the CO2 in your blood goes down. Okay, so you'll get lightheaded, maybe psychological effects. The pH level of the blood goes up. The breath retention, when you hold your breath. So here's how it works. You're going to breathe, you breathe and breathe and breathe and breathe and breathe. And as you're increasing the oxygen, the CO2 goes down. And our body wants to have a balance. And so we super oxygenate the body, CO2 levels go down, and then we take a deep breath in and we hold, and then the body will regulate itself. CO2 will start to rise, start to rise, start to rise. Oxygen goes down, oxygen goes down. Once you hit a certain point, your brain and body is going to say breathe, and then you're going to take a deep breath in, and you're going to inhale oxygen, and then it's going to shunt more oxygen to areas that need the oxygen. Okay, so the oxygen saturation of 70 to 80% is where you get into survival mode. And this is where we tap into the sympathetic nervous system. So it triggers stress reaction. It triggers endocrine, adrenal, cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine. It gives an analgesic effect, which is where the pain relief comes from. So we have the pain relieving stuff in our brain naturally, and you can tap into that. So we have endocannabinoids, opioids, endorphins, and then it makes cold therapy easier if that's something you want to do later on. Controlled stress is healthy. We call this Formesis. It's not a miracle method. It's a science and very physiological, and it's non-linear in progression. There's a sweet spot of stress. So the hormetic response is you give yourself a little bit of stress outside the comfort zone. When you recover, you're stronger and better. And the guy who figured this out, he actually did this on yeast. And what he did is he poured pesticide on yeast, and he figured there was a certain point that they all died, but there was a sweet spot where they got bigger and stronger. So their body was able to handle the stress, and it made them more resistant to the stress. And so there's a saying, don't ask for an easy life, ask to become stronger, and therefore life becomes easier. So really it comes down to how much stronger you can become. And so the first technique, we're going to get right into it, is the parasympathetic technique. This is an amazing technique. So we're going to do a double inhale through the nose. We're going to hold it for a few seconds, and then you're going to exhale long and slow with a sigh. Not forced, but very relaxed. You don't want to fall asleep, but you could fall asleep doing this, especially if you're laying down. This is a great way to actually help yourself fall asleep. So I'm going to show you. We do a double inhale through the nose. Then I'm going to inhale again. Hold a few seconds, and then I'm going to sigh. And a long sigh out. Keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling. And do that 5 to 10 to 15 times repeatedly, and you'll feel a magical difference in your body automatically, especially if you're stressed out. So again, it's double inhale. Hold a few seconds. And all right, so even then, I just got a little lightheaded. So you got to be careful when you're doing this. Like I said, people who aren't used to breathing in can get very lightheaded. So this is scientifically proven to activate the parasympathetic nervous system in the best way possible. It's great to do before meals for better digestion, during stressful situations, or before bed. Now we have the sympathetic technique, also known as a Wim Hof breathing. I'm not going to show you this because it takes a while, but you can do this on your own. It's 30 to 50 breaths inhale, typically you can do them fairly fast if you want, but I would say start as a beginner through the nose and go slow. Do 30 to 50 breaths, kind of like this, until you feel kind of lightheaded and tingly maybe. And then you're going to inhale fully, and then you exhale fully. You empty the lungs, and then you hold on the exhale. You don't force anything. You just hold the exhale. You make sure you're not taking in any oxygen. When your body tells you to take that breath in, you're going to take some breath in, and then you hold that breath for a little bit. You squeeze a little bit of oxygen, hold it in, squeeze a little bit of oxygen to wherever you need it. And then you can go into a relaxed guided meditation. You can do 2 to 3 rounds of that. So just to repeat, you do 30 to 50 breaths consistently. Same rhythm. In through the nose as a beginner, through the mouth, you'll get more oxygen. So you can do that if you're more advanced. You kind of want to breathe into the head. So into the belly, into the chest, into the head. And so basically, you're going to do that until you feel lightheaded. So if it happens before 30 breaths, you can stop, take the exhale all the way out, hold the exhale, wait until you feel like you need to breathe, take a deep breath in, hold the breath, squeeze a little oxygen into your body wherever you need it, kind of push it into that direction like a tube of toothpaste. And then you can go into do a guided meditation. So here's just a diagram of what happens when you hold a breath for a few minutes a day. The benefits of intermittent hypoxia, which is what I just showed you. That's the sympathetic drive. Now, what happens when you hold your breath on the exhale? Like I said, the CO2 will eventually go high, the oxygen will go low, and it will trigger a release of adrenaline. Adrenaline is the sympathetic nervous system drive. That will cause a systemic thing, a cascade of things to happen in the body. And that cascade will be what I listed previously before when there's sympathetic nervous system. So depending on your health issues, what you're trying to solve, that will determine what type of breathing. So if you're always in sympathetic drive, then you want to do parasympathetic breathing. So if you're always working hard, all that stuff, then you want to go into parasympathetic drive. If you're kind of relaxed and lethargic all the time, you might need a jolt of the sympathetic drive. So benefits: vasodilation, improved circulation, increase in red blood cells. That's super powerful because you want more red blood cells to transport oxygen to places in the body. Increased memory and cognitive function, induces cancer protective proteins, P53, proliferates anti-aging stem cells. It may treat Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, type 2 diabetes, coronary artery disease, osteoarthritis, inflammation, autoimmune conditions, and depression. So the methods that use this technique are Rechakra pranayama, Wim Hof method, Butenko method, hypoxia therapy, altitude training. There's also holotropic breathing. There's a bunch of them out there now, and it's expanding because of the power of it. So people are coming up with their own methods, their own techniques. So there you have it. Those are the 2 most powerful breathing techniques for parasympathetic and sympathetic drive. Sympathetic drive would be for pain relief, but the parasympathetic would be for healing. So you can use them interchangeably for whatever the goal will be. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any comments, questions, go ahead and leave that below. I'd love to hear them. And have a great day.